Well, good evening. It's 9 o'clock here on a Tuesday night, and I'm finally back in town. And hello, people. We got a vinyl confession and an unboxing tonight. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about Symphony X concert I went to recently.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
All right. Well, let's get into this, folks. How have you been? I'm sorry I've been gone. I had a vacation and just, one of these days I'll have a cool laptop and I'll go and do these things while I'm away and, all that stuff. So anyway, but yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. So I had a great time. Went up northern way to Wisconsin. And actually, I was going to bring up a video, but I'll hold off on that right now. I'll bring that in real soon. We had quite an interesting experience up there in Wisconsin at Devil's Lake State Park. So if you ever, have a chance to look that up, check it out. If you have a chance to go there, if you dig hiking in a state park and you really want a good bit of fun and a challenge at the same time, check it out because it is very cool. Some of the wildlife there even drink beer. I'm just kidding. There was one little alcove. I stepped out on a rock ledge and looked out, and I was like, kind of gave you that uneasy feeling when you get out there. But I turned around, there's a little alcove there, and there's a bottle and a can. I was like, yeah, thanks, people who don't clean up after yourself. But I don't know, maybe it was the wildlife. I can't just blame people, can I? So anyway, but at the end of that whole thing was a concert. We went to see Symphony X, so everything worked out great. We were up in Wisconsin for a while, and for many, many years, we'd go up there for a family trip, right? My in-laws would have a place that they would rent, and we would go there and spend family time. And it was great. A place up there called Lake Mills, just outside of Madison. Nice little town, just over the border in Wisconsin. But every time we'd go, I'd let people know, like, people I work with, oh, where are you going to go? And I'm like, oh, we're going up to Wisconsin. Oh, you going to the Wisconsin Dells? And I'm like, no. Every time. And it's that point where you're like, no, I'm not going there. But we finally did. We went there, and I've been saying it on my videos, and I'm sorry that the sound is crummy on my videos. In fact, I figured out why my sound was a little off here. And hopefully this sounds fine. I've got to start throwing on my headphones and double checking it. But I don't know what's the deal is with my phone. Maybe it's because I dropped it. I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't from the top of the building or anything. But you may have seen it where the town of Baraboo is very near Wisconsin Dells. It's like 20 minutes away, and they have everything. I'm telling you, Baraboo, Wisconsin is where it's at as far as a cool little town. They have Ringling Brothers stuff there because I guess historically there's a thing from there. I haven't done the research. I'm not as excited about that as I am about music, but so I haven't researched it. But there's a lot of Ringling Brothers things. There's a circus museum thing there, and everything. But they have great diners. There is the Little Village Diner, which is really cool. It's right on the corner, really nice. You go in there, say hello to Carly, and then it's just a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, nonetheless. So then I went back and I went to Baraboo like 4 times, time after time. I was looking for a place, and that's what we'll get into here in a second. I always like to look for record places wherever I go. I seek them out. I try to get to them while I'm there. And I found a place called Spin Shack, and real nice shop. Prices were pretty good. I did even find one of the Mava case related records for me. If you don't know what that is, if you're just starting to tune in, so like and subscribe if you can too while I'm at it. Um, it's Mava case is the mysterious alien vinyl abduction case that I went through. I don't know what happened, but some of my vinyl just, when I started to do a listing of all my vinyl, all of a sudden I'm like, where is that? And where is that? And what, like things, I have the list on my phone. I could look it up, but almost everything has been taken care of on the list. I don't know if I can find it too quickly here. I'm not sure where it is, but it might be under. I know that it had Whitesnake, the Cars, Bon Jovi was on that list. Here it is. Mava albums, even things. There's some stuff I didn't even put back on the list because I'm like, I don't know if I have to have it. One of those is Moody Blues Live +5. Don't know if I have to have that back. It was a double record, but it's just gone. Blue Oyster Cult, Secret Treaties. That's the one that I'll zoom in on here in a minute. Bon Jovi, 7,800 Degrees Fahrenheit. The Cars' first album. Def Leppard, Pyromania. Devo, Freedom of Choice. Europe, Final Countdown. Yngwie Malmsteen, the first two albums. Rising Force and Marching Out. Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. Nazareth, Playing the Game. Nazareth, Playing the Game. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Southern Accents. I still haven't replaced that one yet. Van Halen, 5150. I almost bought the wrong one a while ago. Whitesnake, Slide It In. Why the hell would I ever get rid of that? It's disappeared. Whitesnake, self-titled, 1987. And The Who, It's Hard. So of those, I've replaced everything except for those two Whitesnakes, the Tom Petty album, Bat Out of Hell, and Secret Treaties. I did find Secret Treaties there. It was there. And it was, my copy was not the original. My brother has the original version. He's had it ever since it came out. The original version, you can tell the difference because the cover has a bit of a mild texture to it. And I don't want to say that it's a pearl texture, but it's just got a little bit of a wavy pattern in it, a tight wavy pattern. It's got I really don't know how to describe it, but anyway, it has a textured cover. So if you have that album and it doesn't have a textured cover, it's not an original, but that's not a big deal. I mean, you may be in it for the music only, and that's great. That's all I was in for it, because I'm like, well, I didn't get the original. So I bought one, and it was a regular, semi-gloss cover, like normal. But it's gone. I don't know. I don't know how long it's been gone. That's the problem with these records. I don't know how long they've been gone. They just poof, were gone. So when I did my listing of all my vinyl, that's when I started figuring out that I didn't have some stuff. So, I found this place, Spin Shack. I did find a copy of the original version of Blue Oyster Cult. The price wasn't too bad, but I decided not to get it. Yeah, just $15. It doesn't have to be the original. All the original means is it's going to probably sound like shit. That's what it means to me. It may or it may not. But some of these records look like they've been, in really good condition. Other things, But I did find a handful of really good stuff. Maybe two handfuls, but one I already gave away because it was a gift to my son's family, and you'll get a glimpse of him here in a little bit because we went to the show together. I found some good deals on some albums that looked like they were in pretty good condition, so I picked them up. I haven't bagged them yet. I need to do that. One of the things that I found first off was really important to tomorrow's show. Now, I'll go ahead and repeat it. I did it as a Facebook announcement today, and tomorrow's guest was going to be today, but there was an email I hadn't seen at the straight on early, I guess earlier yesterday, after I'd posted the show, and it was posted for a very short time. After I'd posted the show, I looked at my email to send a link for what was going to be today, and I found an email saying that it had to be postponed. So they said any other day would be fine. And so I asked about tomorrow. So it's going to be tomorrow morning. Every time I announce these things, that seems like when it goes weird. So, hey, what's up there, Casey? Dropping by to say hi. I really appreciate that. I do. Hey, if anybody's got also, let's just get started here. If anybody's got any questions, anything you want to know, if it's got to do with music, whatever. If you want to tell me about a happy piece of vinyl that you found, please put it in the comments. Let us know. I love the conversation, and I'd be eager to know what it is that you guys are looking to find. Have you ever lost a piece of vinyl, didn't know where it went? Is there something you're missing now and you're still looking for it? You just never know. Let me know if there's something that I show here today that you've got, or you're like, man, I used to have that and I don't know what happened to it. So here's, this is something I was happy to find. It was a little more expensive. It seemed like it was in pretty good shape, but I also needed a copy of it because of tomorrow's show. I'm getting ready to talk to Russ Ballard. Throughout those very bad sounding pieces that I did on the road from my phone, there is a bunch of songs that I put out there, videos of songs that he's written. So today I just watched the movie McVicker. He has 3 songs on that soundtrack, 2 of which made it into the movie, because I was actually looking at the credits as they rolled today, and I found that only 2 of those songs were actually in the film. My Time Is Gonna Come was on the soundtrack, but was not in the film. He had Just a Dream Away was in the film and on the soundtrack, and Free Me, which there was a video for that on MTV for Free Me. And that was from the McVicker soundtrack. So the whole movie starts with that song. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's pretty good. You know, I was watching the acting a little more tightly today. And yeah, it was okay. Looks like I'm blinking out here and there. So I'm sorry about that. I've got to get that figured out. Cable, these internet companies, their service sucks. So here we go. So the first thing I got was Argent, all together now. So this was a great record. It's got, of course, Hold Your Head Up is the first track. And then you can see there's a couple of Russ Ballard tracks there. He's a Dynamo. And before that, he had Tragedy, a couple of Russ Ballard tunes on this record. And he sings the lead vocals on that. So on the classic Hold Your Head Up. So that was awesome. So that was a must-have when I saw that. I've never had the album, never listened to the record, and I really enjoyed it. I've liked it. I made a playlist, of course, on Spotify to make it easier for me. I haven't switched over. I keep meaning to switch over to Apple, and I haven't yet. So another one that I tend to give as a gift is when I find it at a good price and in pretty good shape is Little River Band, Sleeper Catcher. Found me a good copy of this. It was only $4. And this looks pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. Now, you'll also realize why I buy some of these albums too when I do my unboxing. Thank you for allowing me to hit my mic stand. This is another album that I love because of the fact that it is one of my favorite artists that appears on album covers. I just bought a Jefferson Starship album with his artwork on it, and that is Peter Lloyd, and this is Kansas Audio Visions, the album before Steve Walsh left. He was doing Schemer Dreamer at the time as well. And then he did that album. They did that tour, and then he left. And they got John Elefante. This one was this was an afterward find. I was done. I'd purchased what I was going to get. And then all of a sudden, here was this record. I thought, well, I better look through the S's because there's some stuff. And also I want to look through the W's, see if I could find Whitesnake. And I found Neil Schon and Jan Hammer, Untold Passion. So there's their first album together. And it's a really fun album. It's a really good record. I'm glad I picked it up. And it was in great shape. I was like, wow. Okay. Now, here's an album that I didn't understand what it was for years. I saw it and I figured it was a live album. I wasn't interested necessarily because I'm not a live album guy normally, but I have been getting into live albums lately. And this is a gatefold album. It was after ELP had gotten very big, and they released this album, Keith Emerson with The Nice. All right, so it's a big gatefold. So this actually is a big old picture of Keith Emerson there at the keyboard, which is awesome. And then here is, I think they actually put this sleeve in upside, or the inside piece, I think, excuse me, they put it in upside down. Because if you put it in your record collection correctly, this is all upside down. So, but I found that, and it's really cool. What this is it's two nice out, and this is a double record, and it looked like it was in pretty good shape. It's for $3. $3. I'm like, okay. So what this is, it was a release that was put out later down the line, and it is their 2 albums, the 5 Bridges and Elegy. So that's what this is. It's 2 of the nice albums put together in one collection. So it's kind of cool. Here was the first album that I found, because I started in the A's, of course. And this was a really nice looking copy of Red Tape by Atlanta Rhythm Section. So pick that one up. This one, it doesn't have a lot. If you're into them, you're going to know some of these songs. One of the songs on here is one of those tracks where it has Paul Goddard, the bass player, doing a really cool solo. But it's called Another Man's Woman. But this also has Jukin on it, includes Antonio Rose, and then it has Free Spirit, Beautiful Dreamers, Police, Shanghaied, Oh What a Feeling, and Mixed Emotions. So it's not one of their albums that's got, the big hits on it, but a great album nonetheless. They put out so much great material. Of course, Champagne Jam is an amazing record. Now this one was only $3 as well. And I just couldn't pass it up. I love this music a lot, and it's a Mannheim Steamroller album. It's 4. And it's a gatefold. There we go. Always had some interesting photography and stuff on the inside and out. Always kind of a nature thing. So pick that up for $3. Then this looked like it was in pretty good shape, and it was only $5. This is a band that it's one of those bands that you think that they should have gone further and been bigger. It's a band called New England. So this is their debut album, and it's a pretty good price at $5. It was in pretty good shape. So I picked it up. Now, the other one that I picked up that I gave to my son already is the Saving the Wildlife, which was a Mannheim Steamroller album. It was a soundtrack to a PBS show. Really, really good record, which was not all original music. Some of it was pulled from other albums to put in to compile that. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, so that was a Spin Shack, Baraboo, Wisconsin. Check it out. I had a shot of the place. It's pretty simple. It is just a, it's kind of a white storefront with big, um, big red letters on the outside. Let me see if I can find the picture. I'll hold it up here. Oh my God, we went to a deer petting zoo. That was crazy. Okay, let's see if it'll pull up here. All right, here we go. So let's see if I can show you this on my phone instead of trying to download it while we're all sitting here. There you go. It'll come into focus here. There you go. Spin Shack. They have video games too, and DVDs, CDs, vinyl. Um, so yeah, they had all kinds of stuff there as far as video games, all the different ones. The gal that was there was well versed in the games too, I think. So, so yeah, pretty cool. Then so as we left, the last night we were going to be in Wisconsin, Symphony X played in Wisconsin. And I almost talked to Mike about that show, but I was like, let's catch up with you in Joliet when we go back, when we head down south. So we did. We dropped off there in Joliet, went to go see the show. I loaded up some pictures, some of them which my son took. So if they're really good, those are the ones my son took. And, and we got some pictures. Mike and I hung out ahead of time. So there we are, me and Michael upon. I know there's 3 Mikes in the band. So we hung out a little bit beforehand. Also, here's the set list before we get too started in here. Nevermore, Underworld, Dehumanized, Evolution, Paradise Lost, Inferno, Kiss of Fire, Smoke and Mirrors, one of my all-time favorites, Set the World on Fire, and then Without You is a brilliant. They did that when I saw them last time here in St. Louis last year. Beautiful ballad, Hell and Back, and then Sea of Lies, and they really put on a show. I mean, they kept coming out. Here's the poster that was on the outside, out front. This was at the Forge there in Joliet, downtown Joliet. Real nice area. You know, the interesting thing is I'm going to talk about how kind of nice it is, and then this is kind of a hard rock metal bar. They also have comedians in there and stuff like that too. Kind of an intimate setting. It's not huge, but it was pretty good size. About the size of Del Mar Hall here in St. Louis. And we were very fortunate. We got there a little later. Misfire was the fill-in band, because if you notice on this on here it says Sonata Arctica is going to open. Well, the singer wasn't doing well, and illness had been going throughout members of the bands in recent days, and he had gotten something really bad in his throat and he could not sing. So they hired Misfire to come in and his local band to open up. So that was sad not to see Sonata Arctica. I really wanted to see it. The bus was there and everything, and just didn't have a chance to see them. Hopefully one day I will, because I really enjoy those guys. So that was the set list. Here's Logan and myself in front of the stage there. We like I said, we got there late, and Misfire finished, and then we kind of walked into the crowd because people were walking out. We started walking in, and we got this close. We were like, 4th row, right about there. And we were very fortunate. We just kind of kept moving through, Let me just kind of go through these. Here's a shot of Mike upon there in the middle, and Jason Rulo's back there on drums. And there's Michael Romeo with Mike Lapon there. And then right behind Mike Lapon, of course, is Mike Pinella. And there you go. It's another shot. And there's my crummy shot of Michael Pinella. And there's Michael Romeo. And there you go. There's Russell Allen. What an amazing talent that guy is. I tell you what, Mike told me ahead of time, he said, Russell, I don't know what's going on with him, but he just continues to get better. And he was already amazing. But he's like, he just continues to get better. And I'll tell you what, he was on and more the other night. Man, I'll tell you what, If you want to see you want to see a dude front a band, this is the guy. Russell Allen is one amazing front man. He commands the, he just commands the audience. It just gets their respect. He loves the audience. He really plays back and forth with the audience really well. There's the goodbye at the end of the show. So let's move on back to this one. This is a great shot my son got. I love this shot with all 5 members there. Really, really cool. Nice shot. Nice shot. And there's another one. There's one that I took, actually. His is so much better than mine. But, it's not a competition. Yeah, right. So anyway, I couldn't help it. I had to take a picture of the stage itself ahead of time. I do that because it all just looks really cool and neat. My son was asking me if that was a special cymbal that was on Jason Rulo's drum kit. And I didn't recognize it as anything. If anybody knows, let me know. But yeah, let's go back to Logan's really cool picture. That's just brilliant. Love the colors. Came out really well. And then here we are hanging out afterwards. Logan got himself the Symphony X 30-year anniversary hat. And it was great. It's great time. I love hanging with my son at a concert. Hopefully he loves hanging with me at a concert. I get a little crazy for an old dude. So I don't know. Yeah, I got to watch the people behind me. I throw my hair around and, but there was a gal that was behind us. Here I am with Jason Rulo after the show. We were all hanging out. They had a bus issue, and Jason came out somewhere right before I left. So at 12:15, and Mike said their replacement bus didn't get there till 2 a.m. Oof. And then missed the Cincinnati show. They were unable to do the Cincinnati show, if I can say Cincinnati. I did tell them to, if they went by the Hall of Fame, just take a piss. How I feel about that place. So anyway, yeah, there you go. All right. So, but a brilliant show. Go and see Symphony X. If you're not into Symphony X yet, do it. If you haven't gotten into Star One, the album, especially the album Space Metal, do it, because Russell Allen does a bunch of lead vocal work on that, along with Damien. So check that out too. So good. In fact, I may have to listen to that tomorrow after we get done talking with Russell, or not with Russell, with Russ Ballard. Well, Russell, I guess it is. So anyway, I'm also going to see if I can get, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put this up because I do want to read a little something to give you a little bit of a preview. Because, I don't always, I don't like dragging artists through their history. That's not what I do here. They know their history. You've heard their history. To drag them through a bunch of stuff just to go, it's so, what do I want to say? Chris, why can't I say his last name? When he's interviewing on Saturday Night Live, he's interviewing Paul McCartney. Remember when you were in the Beatles? That was cool. So I don't like doing that. But here's our thing for tomorrow. All right, you'll see that again on the show tomorrow. Be looking for that. And here's just a little bit about Russ Ballard. Russ Ballard's music career started when he was only 14 years old, and he wrote a tune which was recorded by the Shadows, appearing on their album The Sound of the Shadows in 1964. What is it about 1964? It's a great year. I was born that year. He went on to write for many others. Russ Ballard has given us some of the greatest rock classics worldwide, like Since You've Been Gone. And remember, it's Since You've Been Gone, not Since You've Been Gone. That is the outfield. By Rainbow, also by Head East the year before Rainbow. God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Let's see, has given us some of the greatest rock classics worldwide. Well, okay, so okay. Yeah, right. God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Argent and Kiss did that. So you win again by was done by Hot Chocolate. New York Groove was done by Ace Frehley. It says Hello and Ace Frehley. You Can Do Magic was a huge hit for America. Winning, huge hit for Santana. I Don't Believe in Miracles by Colin Blunstone. Just to name a few. And then there was numerous record artists who also were produced by him, like Roger Daltrey, America. The album after he did You Can Do Magic, the next album, they asked him to produce it. Elkie Brooks, Skindred, or Sada Vidu. Sada Vidu. How about that? Wow, that was really horrible. He first found fame as a singer and instrumentalist with the Roulettes, who started out as Adam Faith's band in the 60s. After a stint with Unit 4+2, he went on to be frontman of Argent in the early 70s. In 74, he started his solo career with releasing his first solo record, simply titled Russ Ballard. Since then, Russ released 10 studio albums and is still writing and producing hits. 3 songs of his 1984 and 85 album were featured in the TV show Miami Vice and were extensively played on dance floors around Europe. Now, the one thing that I really recently learned about McVicker, the soundtrack, it was really, really cool, was not only was I reminded that Russ Ballard wrote 3 songs that were on there, which I've already mentioned, but also the instrumentals that are on that album were done by Jeff Wayne. Jeff Wayne is the Hey, how's it going, B-Sides? I am doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. It's great to hear from you. Man, it's been a couple of days, huh? You may say the same about me. So yeah, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming in. Are you B-Sides? Are you familiar with Russ Ballard? Let me know. But Jeff Wayne is the gentleman who did the War of the Worlds with so many great other musicians that were on that piece, and then redid it again later. So the Richard Burton parts, which appeared on the original War of the Worlds by Jeff Wayne, appear then like Liam Neeson was in for Richard Burton, so that was kind of cool. But great stuff, great stuff. But yeah, Jeff Wayne produced that record, so it was a Polydor release, and the movie was a Who film. So Blake, what's shaking? We gotta hang out someday again. Yes, 2 Avengers catching up. You're gonna see Stephen Piercy and Warren DeMartini at River City Casino. Sweet. Nice. That's this weekend, huh? Okay. I'll have to see about going to that. Checking it out. Love to have those one or 2 of them on the show. I met up with Stephen many years ago. I was very close proximity to Warren at the NAMM show, but I didn't take time to hang out. There was so many people there. I was like, yeah, no. But I think I want to say it was Warren and George Lynch in the same booth at the same time. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. Well, thanks guys for dropping in. Yeah. So yeah. So Russ, I'm really looking forward to this. This is really, I mean, it's a huge honor for me. If, when you're thinking about somebody who affected music so much, and really helped out with great songs for people. And at the same time, he's recording, and I'm going to mention this tomorrow too, because I wrote a little, I like to write, and I wrote this little dissertation for him for tomorrow that I'm going to read when he's on the show. And so come on back tomorrow morning, or just look forward to checking it out later. If you can't be around 8 a.m. Central, he's over in Europe, so we have a little time difference. So that's the way it goes, and it was going to work out well. I don't mind doing it that early in the morning. Kind of gets things rolling. Dad's always wanted to see Rat. Yeah, I saw Rat. Did I see them more than once? I don't think so. And I guess he's getting it via Steven and Warren. Yeah. But, well, I mean, if you're going to get it, if you're going to get a Rat a Rat experience, I mean, those are two of the only other person I wish that could be there is Bobby Blotzer, but that's the way it goes. So, yeah, but yeah, Russ Ballard, it's really amazing. So come on back tomorrow or look forward to it, because let's face it, I'm going to mention this tomorrow, but I'll mention it now just in case you can't make it tomorrow for while we're doing this. Here's how they kind of did a rundown. Now, he did New York Groove, right? So he wrote New York Groove, which was done by Ace Frehley. And the thing about that was, Ace was talking about leaving the band. Both he and Peter were talking about leaving the band. And they said, no, let's not do that. We'll all do solo records. So in 78, all of those albums were released. Now, if you check out this information that I found today, Ace Frehley, it does this little breakdown. So this may sound a little weird, but it had like the style of the album was Frehley's album was guitar driven, hard rock, and proved to be the most commercially successful of the four. The hit single, the Russ Ballard cover song, New York Groove, became the most successful single from the four albums, reaching number 13 on the U.S. Billboard chart. Now, when I talk to Russ, I'm going to ask him about some of this stuff, because I need to know, what's true, or, I have my own kind of curiosity about the whole thing. Paul Stanley, they say the style, this album was considered the most like a traditional Kiss record and featured all original songs. All original songs. The hit single was Hold Me, Touch Me, Think of Me When We're Apart, that charted on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Where, I don't know. Gene Simmons, his album was known for its variety, incorporating elements of pop, hard rock, and funk, along with orchestral arrangements. The album featured the single, Radioactive. It just had a single. It didn't go anywhere, but it had a single. Peter Criss, his album was a departure from Kiss's usual hard rock sound, focusing more on ballads and R&B influenced soft rock. Notable songs included I Can't Stop the Rain and the cover Tossin' and Turnin'. So there was not even a notable single from that album that they talk about here. So that just goes to show, the power of songwriting and what it can do, So it's interesting. But I'll mention some more of that tomorrow, because it really is amazing, the things that he wrote that other people did. I'll tell you what, let's do it a little bit here. Agnetha Falskog from ABBA did a version of his song Can't Shake Loose. Cast the Spirit was recorded by America in 83. Let's see what else is Cuckoo. Are You Cuckoo is kind of another way of saying it too. It was done by the Bay City Rollers. Dancer was done by Rare Earth. I couldn't remember that today. Dream On was recorded by King Cobra. Let's see. Feels Like the Real Thing was done by Stormbringer. Let's see. Free Me. There you go. Free Me was Roger Daltrey from the McVicker soundtrack. God Gave Rock and Roll to You was done by Argent, Petra, and Kiss. Heartbreaker was done by Olivia Newton-John. There you go. Hearts of Fire was another tune from Can't Wait to See the Movie by Roger Daltrey. Night Ranger. This is one I wasn't aware of, and I know the song. I Did It for Love, which was on Man in Motion in 1988. That was a tune for Night Ranger. Um, let's see. Of course, I Don't Believe in Miracles by Colin Blunstone. We already talked about that. Here you go. I Know There's Something Going On by Frida from ABBA. I Surrender, which was recorded. Wow, interesting. I Surrender was recorded, wow, by Head East as well. And Rainbow, I know that. Cherie and Marie Curry. Cherie Curry, of course, from the Runaways. At Vance did it, Stradivarius, and Praying Mantis. Now, also, when they say that they did these, sometimes they played them live. Now, also, I Will Be There is a Russ Ballard tune done by Gog Magog, bunch of guys from Iron Maiden. Let's see what else is big here. Into the Night was another track that Russ recorded and wrote that was also done by Ace Frehley and Frehley's Comet in 87. Let's see what else we have here. It's funny that he has a song called Juliet recorded by Girl, which, right? That's Phil Collin from Def Leppard, right? Is that right? I don't know if he was on that, but he wasn't on that, I don't believe. But anyway, Just a Dream Away is another track from McVicker by Roger Daltrey. Let's see here. What else? Let Me Rock You was done by Peter Criss on the Let Me Rock You album in 82. Liar, there's another great one. That was done by Argent, Three Dog Night, Graham Bonnet, as well as Ricky Medlock and Blackfoot. That's a great song. I love Liar. I know it mostly by Three Dog Night. I don't know any of the other ones. Let's see. My Time Is Gonna Come is a great song by Roger Daltrey on the McVicker soundtrack. New York Groove, of course. It says here that Sweet also did a version of New York Groove. That's interesting. Nowhere to Run, On the Rebound. I love that song. Now, remember, a lot of these songs, too, he recorded all these songs, Russ did, on albums, like it says, starting in 1974, when he released his first solo album, self-titled, and throughout. So there's certain albums that have a bunch of these songs on it. Winning, I do believe, is the name of the album. That has his version of Winning, Since You've Been Gone, and Just a Dream Away is on that. So yeah, it's pretty wild. You Can Do Magic, of course, was that. Winning was recorded by Santana, also Nona Hendrix. Voices, he had an AOR hit with Voices. That's how I knew about that song. But also it says Karen Kamen did it in 87. Tokyo Blade did a song of his called Tonight. Graham Bonnet also did The Mirror Lies, My Kingdom Come. Let's see. I think that's so. For the one you've known, Since You've Been Gone was huge. See, and that's what I wondered if that's the one I can't wait to talk to him about tomorrow. Because he and Graham Bonnet have a great relationship. He's done a lot of stuff. So he did Since You've Been Gone in Rainbow. And then he did SOS, which my buddy Wes was thrilled to see him do when we saw him live. Great song. And he does such a great job with it. But that Since You've Been Gone, Graham Bonnet has done it in almost everything he's done. I'm hard pressed to think of anything that he hasn't done it in, because he did it with the Graham Bonnet Band, and then he did it with Rainbow, Alcatraz, and Pelletary. So it's really wild. The Alcatraz one was live. So, but yeah, Russ Ballard. Check it out tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Central. He's got some great records too. They're cool pop records starting in 74, and he did them almost every 2 years until he did Into the Fire, which was 1 year after Barnett Dogs. So he had Russ Ballard in 74, Winning, 76, 78 had At the Third Stroke, Barnett Dogs in 80, then in 81 Into the Fire. Then 3 years later, he had, what did they do? Let's see. It's called Russ Ballard. I always thought it was called Voices, but it's Russ Ballard again, self-titled in 84. That had Voices on it, and In the Night. Then The Fire Still Burns, he did the next year in 85. And then The Seer, he did in 93. The book, he had Book of Love, which was in 2006. And in 2015, I really enjoy this record. It's Good to Be Here. The album ends with 3 of his big songs kind of redone, kind of reimagined. Like Since You've Been Gone is a complete, like, ballad. He slowed it down and made it a big old ballad. It's pretty wild. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Let's check that out. Bobby's still hopeful about him. Steven and Warren, but I don't see it. Yeah. I'm just glad Steven's made it this long. I think it was just a few years ago. I didn't think he was going to be around much longer. It was rough. Now I was going to do an unboxing, and I still can do that. I wanted to do this on a table over there in another area here, but let's move this. This is something I've been dying to open with you guys. Let's bring this over here. You might be able to see this if I tip it up. You see the name Vivor. So this is, see if I can move this over here. That's the beauty of this microphone arm. This is a classic. Look at this, Martini and Rossi. That's my cutter, Martini and Rossi. A family of fine wines. What do you know about that? So anyway, this is the 6-liter, as I said to my friend, the Vivor 6-liter ultrasonic record cleaner. So they've got really good deals on them out there right now, is my understanding. And I saw a review of this. I told you guys about this recently. And I saw a review of this, and I was like, okay, I think I can do that. You know, sometimes this technology stuff, I'm like, okay, or just, you know, some of this equipment, it's like, it's okay if that's all you want to do with your life. I hate to sound like that, but I'm like, sometimes it's like, okay, do you do anything else? I'm just not always the detail guy. All right. So inside we've got the unit itself. Okay. Now the thing about this is it's the unit, but I bought this one because of the fact that it has all the mechanics. It has this arm, and it has separators in here so that you can clean up to 8 records at one time if you want, which I won't do. That's too many. I like what the guy that reviewed this did, and he said that he did 4 records at a time. I'm like, I could see doing that. So let's kind of take this apart here. Let's see what we got. All right, so we've got the lid. It's got plastic on it, so I'll take all that off later and figure it out. These are all the different pieces that go on top. Now this is mechanized as well, so it'll just spin the records inside the water and solution. You saw the solution. I opened up that stuff at an earlier time. Here's some tubing. We'll have to figure that out. This is what I need at a gig. I need a big thermos of water and a big old tube to drink, because I refill my water like nobody's business. All right, these are the mechanical pieces to put together the spinning unit for the records. Got your power cord. These are probably your separators. They're discs. No, this is a power unit. Okay, cool. All right. Well, that's a power cord. And this maybe drives the spinning unit, the rotating unit. It's probably what that does. Here's your dividers, plastic dividers. You see, you got a whole bunch of them, but what he said he did is he just doubled them up and put them between, doubled up these spacers and put them between the records, since he didn't want to run too many at once. Okay, and we got a baggie of some nuts and washers and wing nuts and washers. So we'll figure that out. Here is a drain piece, which has a screen on it. So we'll see about what that does. And what do we have here? This looks like maybe a motor piece. Let's see what we got. So if you're a person that digs all this, you like mechanics, you like putting things together and getting the job done, this is something good. Especially if you have a vinyl collection, this wasn't that expensive. It was it's about $1.50. So I was thinking it was, going to be a lot more. Yeah. So this must be the motorized piece for the spinner, because it's got this piston here that turns, that's got a flat edge to it, and it's got a plug back here. So that's probably what that unit plugs into and spins your records. That's kind of cool. Very nice. And one more spacer, and the guide. Oh, hey, that reminds me. Let me see if I've got something I need to share with you guys. Something I just found today. If there's anybody, because eventually we're going to get into my kitchen and we're going to make some stuff too, right? Eventually. All right, so you've got, there's your depth, there's your drain hole there. That's what your depth looks like. The vinyl records will go in. The railing comes here, and you have your gauges here. So I'm sure it's a timing thing and a temperature thing. So I have to figure out what all the temperatures are going to be and go from there. So, and there you go. It's a pretty nice little unit. I think it'll be good. It's got an on-off switch. Here's where you plug in the first power cord that I got. So we'll do all of that, and we'll get this together. And I'm eager to do it because my kids and my best friend, they all have small record collections. So what I want to do is just help them out by basically taking their record collection or part of it, whatever, and cleaning all their records for them. So I think that's going to be great. I can't wait to start getting through mine, especially these new ones that I just new to me that I just picked up. So pretty cool. The Vivor 6-liter ultrasonic record cleaner. Ooh. That's pretty cool. That's my Dr. Seuss moment for the day. So I'll do a video on that one later, and we'll get you guys involved in that. But thanks for hanging for doing that. Now, tomorrow, again, 8:00 a.m. Central Time, Russ Ballard right here. And I'll show this to you again just to remind you. There you go. Tomorrow morning, I'm really excited about this. It's truly for those of us who are really into the music, we dig who writes the music and how the music became, and we have some certain questions. Again, I don't like dragging people through their history. They've done it a million times by now, or it's just silly to do so. But there are some distinct things within his history that I do want to touch upon. So you'll hear me do that. I'm not going to say, well, I'll never talk to him about old stuff. That's not the point. But I do try to come up with some interesting viewpoints things that I was always curious about. Like, again, I'll mention it, the Tom Petty movie. When I saw the Tom Petty movie about his life, I was ready. When it got into that 1978 era, I'm like, here it comes. He's going to talk about the movie. Here it comes. He's going to say how he got into FM, and it did not. So there was nothing about FM in there. I did share a post today, which I thought was really cool, about Sammy Hagar. So check the Facebook page and like and subscribe here. If you love the video, if you like what we're doing here, and then also, tell everybody and jump on in and hit the notifications so that you know what's coming, like this Russ Ballard show tomorrow. And I think that's about it, folks. It's been great. It's great to be back. And one of these days I'm going to get this constant thing down, and we'll do some really cool stuff. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves. Remember, when you step out your door every day, you're in everybody else's world. They are not in yours. So act accordingly. You saw my video, even though, like I say, I know it sounded like crap, I guess, evidently. Yeah, like when driving down the highway, I was talking about it. That's been one of my big things. I always want to do a video about that. Driving down the highway, there's a passing lane and there's a driving lane. If you're not passing, get out. Act like there's sharks in the passing lane. You're not supposed to be there because that's where emergency vehicles go through. So make sure you get in it, drive past somebody, and get back over. Don't just, piddle along next to them going like this. No. Pass them and get past them. Do your job and get out. Yikes. Okay, gotta tighten that up. But anyway, so just act accordingly. You know how it works. Just think about the other people. The most important person in the room is not you, it's the other person. And if we all start thinking that way, it'd be helpful, because then we wouldn't be just thinking about ourselves and being pissed off when things don't go the way we want them to. All right? I know. That's heavy for almost 10 o'clock at night. But, I care about you. I care about all of us. Let's just make it better and stop screaming at each other. That's a lot. Take it easy, folks.